Welcome back to Gaelic Games Fan TV. Down 13 points. Antrim 9 points down are through to the Ulster Senior Football semi-finals. And look, in a game that probably wasn't the best game, let's be honest. It probably wasn't the best way to spend your Saturday evening. I'm sure there was probably many other things you could have been doing. But all in all, look, Down got the job done. They got the victory. That was what they came to do. You know, that was the most important thing at the end of the day. Get the victory, get through to the Ulster semi-finals, and then very much worry about Armagh or Fermanagh in terms of what happens after that. Look, it was a strange game. Down looked comfortable, but at the same time, I wouldn't say they never looked like losing the game, but at times they didn't look comfortable either. Like every time it looked like Down were going to pull away in this game, they kept on inviting Antrim back into it. And look, fair play to Antrim. Antrim defended very, very well. You know, it was a valiant effort from Antrim. You could see the quality wasn't really there in the final third. Passes at times breaking down, especially when they were going on the attack. It was just the wrong decision at the wrong time. Like, they had a couple of big goal chances in this game, forced the save of the Down goalkeeper in the first half. Couple of half goal chances towards the end of the game as well. It could have been very different if Antrim's shooting had it just been a little bit better. At the same time, though, Down, I was disappointed with Down a little bit. I'm not going to be honest. Like, Down haven't looked as good as they did in Division 3. Obviously losing to Westmeath in the Division 3 final, which, look, can happen. Westmeath are a decent side. Like, obviously Down having Barry O'Hagan back in, which is absolutely huge. Obviously, remember seeing him on the scene a couple of years ago. Obviously had a cruciate injury. Now he's come back into the fold. But yeah, Down just didn't really, like Philly McMahon was saying in commentary, that Down didn't have energy in the first half. And it was strange because they just looked very relaxed. They looked very comfortable. They weren't forcing the issue. They were comfortable with the lead that they had. And they weren't really forcing the issue, and they weren't really putting the burners on Antrim. And multiple times where Down had chances to kill this game, both in the first half and in the second half. They didn't take it. And the shooting at times was very wayward, especially in the second half. Decision-making at times was quite poor. But look, ultimately, their quality was very much what was the difference. Oisin Savage, who came off the bench, 3 points from him, probably Down's best player on the day. Daniel Guinness was very impressive at wing back as well. Oran Murdoch, very good in and around the middle. But yeah, all in all, look, it wasn't the best game. You do wonder, maybe could they have put Fermanagh and Armagh as the Saturday evening game, because it wasn't the greatest watch, and there probably isn't too much to really discuss in this match reaction other than Down slogged it out. They ground it out. They got over the line. Antrim in a black card early on, which was a little bit silly as well, from Conor Hand. I think Haven Keenan maybe could have been potentially sent off towards the end of the first half. It was a little bit, he gets a yellow card for a reckless challenge. He then gets fouled himself, rolls around on the floor, gets back up, and then tries his best impersonation of Alexander Volkanovski, trying a bit of a rear naked choke, and didn't connect with it. So that's the reason why he didn't get the second yellow card. But yeah, all in all, look, it probably wasn't a second yellow anyway, and it would have completely ruined the game. So I do think it was the right decision. But yeah, all in all, like Down, like especially at the end of the game as well, they had a couple of chances to go for a goal, to work goals, and they didn't. That would be a worry for Conor Laverty, because from what you've seen out there from Down, you wouldn't be confident of them beating Armagh or Fermanagh, either of them two, based off of this Down performance. And they just didn't kill the breaks. They didn't put Antrim away when they should have. And that, I think that will be a concern for Down, absolutely. Pat Haverin going off after 20 minutes was a little bit interesting as well. In commentary, they were saying maybe it wasn't an injury, maybe it was tactical. So that was a little bit interesting, taking off your top scorer after 20 minutes. Roy McAvoy, decent as well from fullback with a point. But yeah, look, Down will certainly have a lot of work to do, and I think they'll know it. As I said before, they looked comfortable, but at the same time, they nearly threw the game away at the end. They were 6 points up at the start of injury time. Antrim get 2 quick points. They had a couple of chances for more points, half goal chances. Down tried their best to throw this game away, and Antrim just couldn't take the opportunities when they arose. at the same time. Ryan McQuillan, the corner forward for Antrim, I thought he was very good. He played quite well, I felt. 3 points from him overall. He had a decent game from an Antrim perspective. And look, they gave a good go at it. They gave a good lash of it. I think most people expected Down to probably win this by 7, 8, 9. You know, when you look at how convincingly Down have beaten sides in Division 3 at the best of times, one of the highest scoring teams across the National Football League, across all 4 divisions. I think only Dublin scored more than them. So you were expecting a little bit more from Down, but you know, Antrim, to be fair, were very, very good defensively. Ewan Walsh had a very, very good game, and he obviously gets taken off, I believe, with that head injury towards the end. So hopefully for his sake and for everyone's sake, sort of associated with Antrim, that is not too serious, because whenever you see a player come off on the stretcher, it's it's very, very worrying indeed. But like Paddy McBride was lively, Dominic McInhill was lively, Rory McCann was lively, but they just couldn't really take the opportunities when they came. And Freeze going wide in certain moments, I felt like they could have worked a lot of them short, like Byrne, the Antrim goalkeeper, taking a lot of those 45s, missed 2 big ones in the second half. Could he have tried to work it in? Same at times, you know, at the opposite end, Paddy McBride did freeze at times for Antrim on the other sort of corner, and he was popping them wide as well. So you just think maybe they could have worked it inside a little bit more, and that maybe would have given Antrim a bit more of a chance in the game. But look, fair play to Down. They done what they needed to do. They got the victory. It's certainly a game that will not live down in the memory of the Ulster Championship. It's certainly not a game that either of these counties will remember, I think, even in a week's time, if I'm being perfectly honest. But Down got over the line. That's the most important thing, but certainly a lot for them to work on, in my opinion. Sam says expected a lot more from Down after their loss to Westmeath, 13-9, too close for comfort. Yeah, absolutely. It was very close for comfort going down the home stretch. And there was one moment in the second half as well where Antrim got it back down to 3. It was 10-7. And they had a couple of opportunities to make it 10-8. And they just couldn't take those opportunities. And Antrim were just missing that bit of quality in the final third. You know, obviously a lot of handbags as well at half time. I've no idea what was going on there. Scruffs left, right, and centre. There was a punch thrown. And then, you know, I think in commentary they were saying they sent the wrong man off. It was between the backroom team, wasn't between the players. I think very silly carry on. You know, you hate to see that, especially backroom team, you know, and all this crack. Like, they're, at the end of the day, they're supposed to be the leaders. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be management and everything else. For them to be getting into scuffles on the sideline is just absolutely pathetic. And that person, whoever it was, who threw the punch and then ran the complete opposite way, absolutely pathetic stuff. And hopefully the officials and the authorities and everything else clamp down and actually suspend who that was if they did get the wrong man. But yeah, that was a little bit mental to see at halftime, and obviously a little bit of a scuffle before the start of the game as well. But look, I suppose to conclude, Down done what they needed to do. They got the victory. They got over the line in the end. Certainly a lot for them to work on. Their shooting was poor. They sat off on kickouts a lot in the first half, which allowed Antrim to gain possession and allowed them to keep in it. In the second half, they pressed up on kickouts, and they got a bit of joy from it. But at the same time, Antrim were actually doing quite well. They were winning a good amount of those kickouts. They just couldn't transition. They couldn't move the ball quick enough from defense to midfield to attack. And the space was there at times. The space was there, but they just couldn't take those big opportunities when they came along. Like, Antrim definitely could have won this game, in my opinion. They definitely could have won it, but Down in the end getting over the line. So yeah, I'll go with Oisin Savage as man of the match. He played very well. 3 points, came on for Pat Haverin as well. So interesting substitution, and to be fair, he did do very well. Obviously under 20 player in the last couple of years as well. I remember seeing him on the Down under 20, so good to see a couple of those lads making the breakthrough. Yeah, anyone who's tuned in, let us know what was your man of the match, your thoughts on the game and everything else. And yeah, we'll obviously be back live tomorrow for more match reactions. I'll be watching the Kildare Wicklow game. I'll be at the Dublin and Meath game as well. Hopefully catch some of the other games as well, obviously Fermanagh, Armagh, and of course Louth, Wexford. So yeah, anyone who's tuned in, cheers for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that. My name's Aaron, and I will speak to you all in the next one.